This is Tim Bryce with my column titled, What I Have Learned About the Democrats. I have been active in politics for nearly 48 years now as a Republican and have witnessed many changes to the party over the years. I have campaigned for candidates, served on political board of directors, served as a correspondent at political events, and have written about politics for well over a decade. As a political pundit, I am pleased to have correctly predicted the outcome of the 2016 and 2018 elections, and no, I certainly didn't do it by studying the polls. I have also watched as the Democrats have shifted from moderate positions to the far left. When I write about the Democrats, I can always expect some visceral rebuttal. From this, I have learned some of their fundamental characteristics. First, Democrats do not know how to argue, only attack. This is particularly true in letters to the editor or online replies. They usually rely on visceral sarcasm and obscene expletives to make their point in a Pavlovian type of response. This reflects their hatred and attempt to discredit the author by assassinating his or her character. Some have been so offensive, I have seen such postings automatically deleted by a publication. My question is, can you not argue without becoming belligerent? Quite often, the Democrats set down a smokescreen in order to create a diversion and not answer a pointed question. They regularly parrot talking points as prescribed by the media. For example, they accuse President Trump of being a liar, a racist, a homophobic, xenophobic, etc. They've repeated it so often, they treat it as gospel. In reality, there is no evidence to indicate he is any of these things, only conjecture. In my case, I have also noticed Democrats do not read an article in its entirety, resulting in convoluted comments totally unrelated to the subject at hand. Strange. Democrats honestly think they are smarter than everyone else. As such, they believe they are the only ones who know what is best for the country. Their arrogance is their Achilles heel and explains why they look upon the president's supporters as deplorables who are condemned for their inferior intellects. This also contributes to their problem in arguing a point, as Democrats believe it is below their dignity to argue with deplorables, only to dismiss them outright. Democrats tend to see a conspiracy in everything they oppose, which is why they insist on political correctness. Again, only their views are considered acceptable. This implies they want control, not compromise. So how do you argue with a Democrat? Stick to the facts and your principles. Online, they do not believe in a fair debate and rely on vicious discourse instead. As such, do not waste your time arguing them. Also, in a public setting, do not allow yourself to be baited. The worst thing you can do is engage in a heated rhubarb and be dragged down to their level, where you may say something inappropriate and lose the respect of your audience. It is just not worth it. Second, Democrats understand the power of culture control. Not surprising, they set the trends in fashion, music, entertainment, and news media. Anything appealing to the five senses. By doing so, they subliminally influence the perceptions of people as to what should be right and wrong. Not surprising, they are mindful of the power of symbols, which they either embrace or disgrace, such as the Black Lives Matter flag versus the police thin blue line American flag, desecration of historical symbols, and treatment of patriotic icons, such as the American flag. In my travels with the press corps, it was rather obvious they choose their party over God and country. Democrats have the luxury of controlling the public narrative, thanks in large part to their incestuous relationship with the news media. The morality of the Democrats is not the same as the public's. This was revealed not long ago by a Gallup report, all because they are acutely aware of controlling the culture. The party's political campaign playbook has long been that prescribed by Saul Alinsky, author of the book Rules for Radicals, a practical primer for realistical radicals. Alinsky, of course, is the well-known socialist community organizer who greatly affected the political schemes of President Obama and Secretary Hillary Clinton. In a nutshell, his underlying theme in terms of politics is all is fair in love and war. This includes cheating and deceit in political campaigns. Number 3, Democrats do not assume responsibility for their actions. This became rather obvious recently with the resignation of Representative Katie Hill, Democrat from California, after reports surfaced of alleged sexual indiscretions with a congressional staffer and an admission to a relationship with a campaign aide. In her final speech on the House floor, she blamed others for revealing her indiscretions and claimed the role of victim. There was no admission she was at fault, that someone else must be. Number 4, Democrats believe they can buy votes simply by offering free goods and services. To illustrate, programs such as the Green New Deal, Medicare for All, and free college tuition may sound nice to the uninformed, but the country simply cannot afford to implement any of it. These programs appeal to people who want a free lunch, which simply doesn't exist, as somebody has to pick up the bill. Somehow the Democrats have forgotten what President Kennedy of their own party said at his inauguration. Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. Today, it is just the reverse. So far, the Democrats have been playing with money in the trillions of dollars. Let's hope they never discover what quadrillion means, as they would spend it. Most politicians tell the people what they want to hear. Conversely, President Trump tells the people what they need to hear. There is a difference. In conclusion, I am certain my old moderate Democrat friends will argue with me on these points, but I would remind them it is a new day in Democrat politics. This is no longer your father's Democrat Party. However, I'll be interested to read their response to this. Let's see if they know how to effectively argue. Friends, keep the faith. This is Tim Bryce in Palm Harbor, Florida. Follow me on the internet at timbryce.com.